Hello, Sheikh Fatima. I'm enjoying our sister here, Molly IB. She released a wonderful video here. So I hope you are enjoying the song as well. I think she's just done a great job with this song. I don't know what you think, but I think it's a great job she has done with this song. Welcome everyone, but I'm going to play a song. So if you want to hear the song, make you go to my blog, my Facebook page, my YouTube. It's on my YouTube. This song is on my YouTube. So you go to Sunday Adelaja Official, you will see it there. Molly IB. I think she's done a great job. Welcome everyone. Bidemi, welcome. Mofelola, welcome. Ngozi, welcome. Fumi Jeboda, long time. Nice to see you again. Obi Ojibadu, your wife is sitting right opposite me here. Professor Daniel, bless you. Nkiru is writing too. Jane Winsaka. Sorry, I didn't see you in London, but I saw your note that they left you out. Ola Yinkasheo, Shinwe, Mashu Esang, Ola Oluwa Daniel, Bemi Orekoya, Jake Oke, Benny Gift, Olukayode, Ola Oluwa Daniel, Solange, Samson Femi, Anastasia Shioma, Ola Martin, Victor Ogundipe. I just fell in love with this song. Absolutely marvelous. Absolutely fantastic. Ooh, see who came today. This is like my first fruit in Nigeria. The tiger deer tiger. Wow, long time. Tiger got promoted in his work and disappeared. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. But I think it's also in connection with the death of the father-in-law. Michael King, welcome. Adiola Disu, welcome. Ife Odeyebi, welcome. Precious Mbu, TY, welcome. TY said she loves this atmosphere. Yeah, because you are a worshiper. And you are always, you are one of the greatest psalmists I've heard as well. Because you are not just doing entertainment, unlike many other people. You, when TY is singing, she brings heaven down. And that is very superior to what I see these days. Omiyale Yomi, well, Omiyale is like you are desperate for me to come back for daily broadcast. And it's like God is going to hear your prayer. Or God has heard your prayer through Kate. Through Kate Carodis. Because Kate is working day and night. I am going to bless Kate so much. I don't know. She's going to be so blessed. But, because she's going to make 100,000 maybe before my birthday. Or if she makes it before my birthday, then I'm going to come every day. So all of you owe your gratitude to Kato. you have to pray to her now that she makes it, that it works out for her and her team to be able to come out, to be able to, have 100,000 song 100,000 people before the end of the month, before the end of at least next month. If that happens, then expect Pastor Sunday back from the 1st of June. So from the 1st of June, I'm going to be coming back to you on a daily basis. From the 1st of June, I'll be coming back to you every day. So before that happens, although I said every day I'll be coming back to you, yeah, it should be every day, but unfortunately I'm back in court again. And the time I'm always in court every morning is 9:30, the same time I'm having my daily broadcast. So maybe what I'll be doing is that when I have court, when I have to be in court, I'll be putting Kate for you to do it for me. Because she already knows. And her English is better now. She's speaking better all the time, so she's practicing. I think I will, since, people like Yomi are so desperate for me to come back. Is it Yomi or Yomi? Yomi, I think. Omi Yale. So let's look forward to the 1st of June. That might be the new day that Pastor Sunday will be back. That is in case we're 100,000. That we have to ask Kate. And by the way, Kate always needs people to help her to collect the likes. So I'm going to call her now. Let her come and explain to us what is needed before we start. Meanwhile, Molly has just, you see that Molly has infected me with her music. I'm just in love with, I've been swept off my feet with that song. She is just absolutely brilliant. I don't know. I can't stop listening to it. I keep on listening over and over again. Every day I listen to it. So, Kate, come. Tell them how they could help you gather the likes.
Hi. Hello, everyone. So you have done a great job because you responded to previous announcement about likes collection. So many people responded. It's very good. And let me just give you understanding of how we work. We have some likes to collect or to send invites to people who already liked content of the page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So those people already like the content. We only need to invite them, and we need hands, and we need more people. The reason we need more people is because there is a limitation for every person to collect likes. So you can collect like up to 200 or up to 500, it depends, different times, different limit. So you have sent, all of you have sent your requests. I have all of those requests. It takes time to give you access, and also there are limited places, but I will give access to some people, and then I will remove these people and give access to another people. So it goes like this. It means that I still need people to have in my list so that I can come to you at one point of time and ask you to assist, because we have 1 month ahead. We need still to collect about 22,000 of people here to invite them, and that is why we need to be organized. We still need to have more volunteers to do this. It will take like from you, it will take 30 minutes a day, because there are a lot of likes, and there is some kind of limitation. So it may be first day you will have more than 30 minutes, but then it will go to 30 minutes. And it's good if you are really persistent and you can do it all the time. So now, if you didn't write request last time, but you still want to help with this, right now, write Facebook or FB in comments, and I will come back to you today or tomorrow and add you to the list and give you instructions. So everyone who already wrote, don't do it. But if you didn't write request to assist Pastor, write it right now. Facebook, write Facebook, just word Facebook in comments, or two words FB, and I will come to you and at one point of time put you in schedule to help with this, and we will have 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you. There is one more. let me use this time because let me use this time. One more announcement. We need assistance more. I know you are listening to recordings that were done previously, live broadcasts, right? We have more than 500 live broadcasts. If you are listening to them and making notes and making detailed notes, we really need your help. Please send those notes to us. Send those notes to vip@godembassy.org. vip@godembassy.org. Send those notes with the name of the broadcast that you transcribed or noted, please. It will help us a lot also. I will give you a picture later what it will help us with. Thank you.
You all see that I'm truly addicted, right? To Molly's book, Molly's music. And I asked her, how can we buy the album? How can we? She said, no, I'm giving it for free. That's what she said. She said, it's for free, just for my friends. I said, wow, for your friend, just for free? He said, yeah. I said, my God, we should make it go worldwide. So everybody, go get that song on Sunday Dilaja official, and let's make it go viral. Now, this week, people have really blown up my mind. Okay, one is Molly that you just saw. Then, one day, I was going through the Facebook and look into what I ran into. Another thing that blew my mind, I couldn't believe it. I think this is Mayowa and Co.
Hello.
I don't know if anybody saw this. This is a London team. DSA Family London. I was blown away. They surprised me. Wow, you could see that Dr. DSA has a family. Oh. These are real family members. You can see so much love. This is unbelievable. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Huh? Wow, 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 wow.
Hello, Innocent. Hello, Christina. Hello. Hello, Julie. How are you? We're in London. Hello, everyone. We love you.
They even brought roses. They even brought roses for me. Oh.
Hello, everybody. How are you? We're already there celebrating DSA.
First of all, I'm not a woman.
Some people are
Secondly, even if you bring the roses, there's no way for me to get it out. I would have brought the rose to my wife, but I couldn't take it out.
Let's sing happy birthday song for Dr. Sunday. Happy birthday.
I think the song, they didn't practice it, so.
I can't wait to meet with you in Ukraine. Pastor Sunday, I love you. And my husband knows that.
Who is that? Who is that? That's MJ. MJ, okay.
I will see you soon. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
How-
One by one. You go one by one. Everybody's here. Hi, guys. Okay.
Where's Pastor Sunday?
Hi, everyone.
It's so good to see you guys, and I'm so happy to see Mayowa.
Hello. I'm here in London. celebrating Dr. Sunday Adela today.
yeah.
We're also happy.
Yeah.
So we're early in London. We're early bird in London. We don't do
Yeah.
anything in half in London. We
Yes,
go the
so-
full circle, 360 degrees.
Yes,
We are so happy, and we're starting right from today, the 17th of April. His birthday is from the 26th to the 28th of May. His actual day is the 28th of May, but we are celebrating earlier because we love him, and we know that each day of the year is not enough.
That's right.
So here we are celebrating.
We love you,
We
dear.
love you. This rose is all for you. The rose. Okay, the rose is all for you. It's a black rose.
We love you. We love you. I love you so much.
Why is it that only with the women are loving me? Well,
So don't mind them all. They're just making noise.
the men are hiding at the background.
Hello, sir.
Where are the men? Let the men express their love also.
Female, because I know there's some people out there that will say it's only okay. This is the 1 minute. I'll come back to this. This is Queen Anastasia King. This is the King McDonald.
All right. We got some men come anyway, so. Oh, wow. How would that not blow your mind? How would that not blow your mind? Of course, that absolutely blew my mind. That absolutely blew my mind. Totally unexpected. But, you know, you cannot hide the fact that, yes, these people are real and genuine. They are real and genuine, and that is true love right there. True, beautiful love. Wow, and I've never met most of you guys. I've never met most of you, but, you know, I look forward to. And maybe summer. I think some of you are planning to come for summer in Ukraine. And I got to see my Omoile too. Yetunde was there. That's Omoile. That's my village girl. Yeah. So beautiful. I'm so impressed. And Deola Disu and the husband, Tunde Disu, all of them, you know, you people are just great. And Shinedu, well, Ifeoma is not Shinedu. Is it Ifeoma? Ifeoma. Okay, Ufuoma is different from Ifeoma. What is Ifeoma?
Good thing.
It's good thing?
Yeah, beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. I have Nkiru Ajibadu here. She's translating for me. Ifeoma means beautiful things. What about Ufuoma?
I think it should be the same thing, but another dialect.
Another
That's what I
dialect.
believe.
Okay. It's beautiful things. Well, they are beautiful, and they are beautiful. They are beautiful in and out. Okay, so, wow. So how do I go from that to this one? How do I go from... I'm so impressed by what... this is... wow. Nkiru is showing me the Nigerian team also wearing DSA singlet t-shirts. So the Nigerians also are celebrating DSA birthday in Nigeria. Lagos team, right? Wow. Lagos Abuja team. Amazing. This is Shioma Shinedu, right? What's the name of the Noah? What's the name of Noah? Noah. Okay, Shuku. And who? Bola Luro is there. And yeah. Shioma and Ushe is there. And wow, you people are just so glorious. You people are surprising me, giving me the surprise of my life. Giving me the surprise of my life. Okay, thank you so much. You know, it makes me to want to come back because you are expressing so much love to me from everywhere. Somebody is saying they have the Port Harcourt team also there. Let me see if I could find that here. Port Harcourt team. Oh, okay. Maybe they are these ones. Is this Port Harcourt team?
Oh, yeah, they should be.
Okay. You are Port Harcourt team. You look great. Wow. The picture is so professionally done. Okay, I can see Amadi there. But where is Olukayode? Is he there? Or I cannot recognize him? I think he's not there. But I need the names of the people who are there. You know, I don't know the names of everybody. You have to write the names, so. Otherwise, I will not even know who are these people. Who is who here? Who is who? I can't see Diepere. Is Diepere there? Huh?
I think this is Oluka.
That's Olukayode there.
So, I'm not sure.
And Diepere, is he there? This is Port Harcourt, right? Wow. Okay, Yetunde is saying if you want to join the UK team, that you should inbox her if you want to join the UK team. Okay, I have another one here. This is Calgary team.
Wow.
Calgary is in Canada, eh? British Columbia, yes. Calgary, I was in Calgary, British Columbia. They said Abuja is somewhere there too. I've not seen Abuja. Let me see. It's Mayowa that is sending all these things. So I don't think she sent me Abuja. Abuja team. Or maybe it was Abuja team that I thought it was Port Harcourt team. Anyway, I don't know. You know, Mayowa will deal with it. She knows. Where is Abuja team? Problem don't come out because I have to show everybody that I don't even know where the Abuja team is. Is there any Abuja team? Did they? I don't know if. I don't think Mayowa sent me Abuja team. Oh. She is hiding everything from me. They sent a video. Okay, I didn't say it. You know, they are all hiding everything from me. I see them by accident. So I don't know what is. But they can't hide it anymore when it goes on the internet. Like the London team, there's nothing you can hide there because I saw it on the internet, but I didn't say it live, but I just ran into it later on. Okay, yes. Ezinwa said we should share this message to go and invite everybody. Yeah, I forgot to say that. Let's go ahead and share the message. The teaching is about to start now. So let's go ahead and share the message quickly. Let's go ahead and share this message, okay? Let's go ahead and share it. But you have to share it to all your friends. So if you are sharing, go share it to all your friends. Don't just share it, but share to all friends. That is the way it's to be done. Share to all friends. Please, let's invite all our friends because we're about to start. Today is going to be revolutionary. It's about self-confidence. So let's quickly go and share the message to everybody. I see that even my own private page is not shared yet. So let's share it to everywhere. Okay, thank you, Molly, for sharing. Gift Blessing, thank you for sharing. Eric Osadolo, thank you for sharing. Who else? Let's quickly share. Let's share to all our friends, not just to our own page, but let's share publicly to everybody so that all our friends could see it as well. Oh, by the way, I heard that today is Ola Martin's birthday. Ola Martin birthday. Wow. Happy birthday, Ola Martin. Let's all wish Ola Martin a happy birthday. She is one of the most consistent people on this platform. And congratulations, my dear sister. Soon you are going to hear from me, Ola Martin. So you wait, be expectant. I hug you. I'm giving you warm hug right there. And I'm praying that you will get a wonderful birthday present from the Lord, that God will heal you. It will, strengthen you. It will remove all diseases and sickness from your body, and it will, it will establish you, and that you will live many, many years to glorify your Father. So congratulations on your birthday, my dear. Happy birthday to Ola Martins. Ola Martin. So let's all congratulate Ola Martin on her birthday. All right. How do I get out of this Molly song and London? London people's blessing to me. Well, this is going to be a long series, I guess. I think it's going to be a long series. Improving your self-confidence, how to go from timidity to confidence, how to go from timidity to self-confidence. That's a very, very serious topic. And I own this to one of my disciples in London, or one of DSA family people in London. I'm sure you people know him, Smart and Relentless. Smart and Relentless is the one who wrote a letter to me when he heard last Saturday that was the last message I was preaching on the art of thinking. And he came to me and said, Pastor, why don't you do a topic or a series on confidence? So he thought that is a good topic to address. And I know I used to suffer from it myself, so I know what that means. But still, I was thinking, let me talk more on the spiritual stuff, spiritual topic. But spiritual topic, without self-confidence, you'll not be able to use it, no matter how spiritual it is. And so Deji suggested to me to treat topics like this. So let's see some of the titles that he mentioned in his attempt to, he said we should do a series on self-confidence, how to become confident, how to go from introvert to extrovert, the benefits of being an extrovert, how to go from timidity to boldness, so all the things, all the areas that are all connected to confidence. So he gave me a series of them. So I hope this will be a needed topic and a beneficial topic to all of you. So I hope this will really be a beneficial topic to all of you. So talk about Schumer. So here we go. I'm going to start today going from timidity to self-confidence. Let me start with my own story. Some of you already know it. I told this story in my live, in some of my live broadcasts already, but this is directly connected to the topic we're addressing. Can you believe it that I was a very, very timid person? Very, very timid. Not just timid, but broken. Broken in self-confidence. Broken in in self-assurance. I was a victim of fear, intimidation, anxiety. Let me tell you how bad it was. In Africa, when we were growing up in Africa, especially if you grow up in the part of Nigeria where I grew up in, it's called Ijebu. Ijebu, that group of people, that tribe, that nationality, or that part of Yoruba people, they are Yoruba people in general and Nigerians in general, but the Yorubas and especially the Ijebu people. You know, the Nigerians are known for the good life, right? And partying. That's Nigeria in general. But when you take the Ijebu people, I mean the Yoruba people, partying, Owambe, and things like that, they are renowned for it. But when you take the Yoruba people, the most renowned out of others for partying are the Ijebus. But that's a very bad culture in the sense that it is, on one hand, there could be a good aspect to it, but it's bad in the sense that people live frivolously. People live a trivial lifestyle. And so life is regarded as a kind of frivolity, as a kind of enjoyment. You know, people want to live their life as if life is about pleasure. But that's one of the greatest deceptions that anybody will ever engage in. That's a lie. Life is not about pleasure. Life is about many things, but not pleasure. Pleasure is part of life, but pleasure should never become the purpose of life. So, but unfortunately, I come from that part of the country where partying, pleasure, is the centrality of their lives. So, growing up in the village, one of the constant images that you will see in my village is that you have parties every weekend. That was good for me a little bit because at least I could go there to eat. Those parties, burials, they're always doing burial, funeral. So those afforded me the opportunity to go and eat some food that I couldn't eat at home. And but they will always like to challenge the youngsters, the young kids, to go forward and dance. They always push you to dance. I don't know where you grew up or if you had that kind of culture where you are coming from. But where I come from and where I grew up, they will always make you to go dance. All the kids always dance. And it's like it's a normal thing to, even when the adults don't want to dance, they push forward the kids to dance. It's like everybody wants to look at the kids the way they dance. And even parents want to push their children forward to dance. All the parents want to encourage their children to dance. So dancing is part of the lifestyle of the African man. Dancing is part of the life of the African kids. So from childhood, Africans dance and sing. They just, sporadically, sing and dance. And so it's part of our life. But do you know? The only person who couldn't overcome the inner brokenness and timidity, timidity to go and ever dance in the old village was me. That's very strange that a kid would be so ashamed and intimidated will never go and dance. Especially when all the kids, every day, every week, people are dancing. There's only one kid that would never be bold enough to go to step into the dancing floor and dance. There were many factors to that. And there are always many factors that contribute to lack of self-confidence. In my case, there were factors that contributed to this timidity and lack of confidence. So my personality was shattered and broken from my childhood. As a matter of fact, I think everybody who ever knew me growing up will tell you that they still don't believe. Even people who see me on television and in newspapers and see my name, they still doubting that I'm the one. Because it's not possible for somebody to come from where I'm coming from and become who I became. But that's the more reason why it's even more powerful. Because if I could become who I became from where I'm coming from, anybody can make it. Anybody can arise. Anybody can overcome. And anybody can break timidity. Anybody can also break lack of confidence. Everybody, anybody, no matter how bad your story is, and no matter how deep you have been in timidity, fear, no matter how deep the dungeon is, and no matter how dark the night is, you can be lifted. And remember, I believe that you can be lifted and delivered without all those crazy deliverance ministries, without all those calling on the enemies to die, without all those calling fire down, without all those casting out of demons. But you can overcome it. And I'm going to take you step by step. I'm going to take you step by step through the path of coming from such a deep, deep dungeon into becoming a worldwide personality. So I guess you might be interested in knowing the reasons for my brokenness. I guess it might be helpful for me to let you know and to tell you why I, even as a child that was not aware of himself, I was not aware of myself, of where I was never aware of my story, I was not aware of myself as my country, I was not aware of anything, but the one thing I was aware of was my fear and my intimidation. Even though I was not aware of anything, but I was aware of this intimidation. This intimidation was holding me down bad. So where is it coming from? I think part of the intimidation and timidity is coming from the fact that my husband, my wife, my mother, out of all our siblings, she is the only one that was not sent to school. She's the only one that was not sent to school because all others were boys. And then the only other young girl that was there was my sister, who was the last born. So by the time she grew up, the time was better. It was in the 70s. So she was in the 60s or 70s. So it was civilization. It was already good. It was already well understood that girls should be sent to school. But at the point when my mother was growing up, they were not sending girls to school. That's our father. In our family, they were not sending girls to school. They would only send boys to school. That's I don't know where that comes from. That's just African. So my mother, she's dead now. My mother, not my grandmother, my mother now. I grew up with my grandmother, but even my grandmother never knew how to read or write. I grew up with her not knowing how to read or write. And I also didn't know how to read or write. Then my mother too, who is her daughter of my grandmother who raised me up, even my mother didn't know how to read or write. Even though our brother was a professor. Another brother was a graduate. And our sister-in-law were British white people. And yet she couldn't speak English. Even write or read in English or even Yoruba language, she couldn't read and write. So in my family, because of that, and because even though I didn't grow up with my mother and I didn't know her, but that also already put that seed of rejection in me, even though I was yet to be born, because she was the least in the family. And because she cannot read, she cannot write, so I think she had been intimidated already in the whole family and in the whole surrounding. She was hardworking, but she was regarded as retarded. People who are in the village and they don't go to school, they don't do anything, they can't read. You cannot tell them to do anything. You cannot ask them for any help. You cannot. they are seen as retarded. Even though she's normal, okay, there are other people that are treated similarly. People who are paralyzed in the village, who will go like this, or people who have foams coming out of their mouth, or who, that's the very similar way my mother was treated. So because of that, she could not marry on time. Because in that village and in my culture at that time, ladies marry already by the age of 20, 21, 22, you already married. But in our own case, she couldn't marry. Yes, it was another Buddha. Another to that hadid. But what the she yes to come to that because I had. In the case of my mother, even though she was not retarded like that, but she was almost like retarded because she couldn't read, she couldn't write, she couldn't primitive. So nobody wanted to marry. At that point already, men were getting more advanced. They didn't want to marry. At least you should be able to read in Yoruba language. At least you should be able to write in Yoruba language. But in the case of my mother, instead of her going to school, and the reason why she couldn't even read in Yoruba language, she didn't even go to primary 1 or standard 1. But because she could work hard, so they will always take her to go, and she will be the one everybody is taking. She was just like a house girl for the whole family. She would just be the only, because the only thing she could do is to go and carry something physical labor. So because the only thing she could do was physical labor, everybody just knew her for that. So she couldn't get married. And that became a problem in Africa when you cannot marry. When all the girls in the village are married and you are the only one who has not married and couldn't marry, it became like a kind of, especially when you are in a village setting. So it became just like understandable. Oh, of course, who will marry her? Of course, she's the only one that is not married now. So that's okay. That's just understandable. I mean, who will marry her? I mean, she's just like the girl that's just running about here. She's nobody happy. How can she marry? As a result of that rejection, so she was an epitome of rejection. As a result of this rejection, people in the village and relatives, so my grandmother, who was caring and concerned for her daughter, that she was now 26 and she was still not married. And somebody approached her from, I was living in the village of Idomila, but Ijebu is the bigger city near our village. So just an acquaintance from Ijebu, from the bigger town, came to my grandmother and said, oh, we have a son also who is also like treated and retarded. And he too couldn't find a wife. He is also going older and is not getting a husband. He's not getting a wife, sorry. And your own has been left. So the two people who are left out in life has forgotten them. Life has left them out. They have been left behind by life. Maybe we could connect them. And that man who was to become my father, he said, nobody from my family should marry, from my mother's family should marry anybody like that. So my grandmother, first of all, was against the idea because it's a shame and an embarrassment that as daughter will go and marry that kind of man. Because that man was not the status in the class of the city, of the village, even though we're in the village of 40 houses and the guy was from his town, but it was even poorer than we who were in the village. And then my mother was from a king's house. She was a princess, kind of. Even though the father was dead, so she was no more a princess, they had another king. But Our status was higher a little bit than the status of my to-be father. So this man, who was supposed to be my father, was known as Onipano. Onipano, I never even heard of it apart from him. That is the only time I've heard of it. This is someone that is known, he's just roaming around the city, not losing his mind, but walking also, hard worker. But he was always looking for job. He doesn't have a job. His job was to go from house to house, from all the surrounding villages, looking for. There is this thing we have in the village where I grew up. They used to have. My God, it was a time when they had just transferred from pot. You have the clay pot. In Africa, all these things, all the cups, and they cook in clay pot. So most of the things they used to cook were clay. But it was the time when aluminium was being introduced. The cooking pots were now going from clay to the one similar to what we have now, to steel. But aluminium, it used to be aluminium those days. And then they eat, people, now we use plate to eat, right? But those days it was aluminium plate. I don't know if you remember the aluminium plate, and even fork, the fork and the spoons were aluminium made. So so that's what they call pano or something, scavenger, like a scavenger. So this man used to scavenge he used to go and scavenge for those aluminium materials. And it is the same material they used to use to roof the houses. So scavenging in my own area is, even up to now, anywhere in the world, people scavenging, is regarded as one of the lowest of all trade. Now, Edwin say blacksmith. No, blacksmith is working with the gold and all that. No, he was not blacksmith. So what he was doing is to go to any house, because when you eat with that aluminium plate, sometimes it gets old inside. So what this man does is that he uses fire to melt the aluminium so that the hole will patch, and then they patch up the hole. And then the same thing when you cook. The same aluminium plate, you use it to cook, because the people were so poor, they couldn't buy new ones. Not just my family, all the families were so poor. They've never even seen the plate things like the ceramics like this, or eat with ceramic plate. But even the aluminium plate, they have to repair it so that they keep on cooking with it and they keep on eating with it. So this man used to scavenge from house to house and look for those plates and roof that are linking, and patch them up. But he didn't have a place of his own where people could take things to him. So he had to go look for the job, and he had to be going to do this. So he was really regarded as, because he was going not to normal he was going to the rich. The normal family would not use those things anymore, because they were using fire. They were putting fire under it, using real wood to do fire. So it is those kind of people he was going to. No stove. People didn't have stoves, or who didn't have anything like that. People were just using firewood to. So it was. So he was always going between all the poor people. So he was poorer than the people he was repairing things to, because the poor people he was serving were the ones he depended on to his own livelihood. He needed them to pay him money to survive. So he was so poor. So at first, my grandmother just looked at the man. He didn't have anything. Didn't have a house, didn't have a home, didn't have anything. Just roaming about from one place or the other, looking for those aluminum plates and patching them up. So my grandmother, first of all, refused. Let's go and share this. I think maybe this could bless somebody. No matter how hopeless people are, either it's in Africa or it's here in Europe, no matter how hopeless your situation is, there is God in heaven. That's why I cannot pass by anybody anymore. I cannot just afford to pass by anybody. I cannot bypass anyone. I want to help everybody. I'm always without money. I'm always broke because I want to help everybody. So let's go ahead and share the link to everybody in our contacts. Maybe to bless someone. So my grandmother had refused to give a daughter because her husband was dead. My grandfather was dead. And he was the authority of the family. He was the successful king of the village. He was the... And so my mother was left with 7 kids. My grandmother was left with 7 kids in her 30s. So that even made things worse for my mother because my mother now became the only person who could just help her. And then since she was the only spinster in the village without a husband, and it was becoming too shameful, so my grandmother had to agree to give her out in marriage to that man. But who has taught the man? It's now that I'm thinking about it. Who has taught him? The only thing he knew was rejection. And he's been so rejected that he cannot even take care of himself. He couldn't even provide for himself, talk less of growing a family or taking care of a wife. So, to cut a long story short, they married, but they couldn't do elaborate marriage because he didn't have money. My grandmother was having 7 children to take care of. They didn't have money to do marriage. So they just did the traditional introduction and let my mother, you're just a joy that somebody was correcting her. Everybody convinced my grandmother that, at least he's a man and she's a woman. They were not even sure that she would be able to have children. Because they see her as retarded. They saw her as retarded. And they thought she's been so pushed down, she's been so retarded by life and by everything that even her womb might not be able to carry a child. So they were not even sure, but they were just saying maybe, because to them, the purpose of life in Africa, most of them, is children. So they were just saying, let her go to the husband's house. Maybe, she will be able to bear a child or carry a child or have a descendant. Then, because even though my mother was hardworking, but she lacked understanding. She was not smart according to, she only knew how to go and walk and just walk. She was only a labor force, but she was not smart by thinking. And even my father too was not smart. They couldn't read and write as well. So I think it became violent. That is from one side. That is the story that my family side, my grandmother's side, told me, that it was violent. But when I grew up and we now decided to ask my mother, what about it? Why did you leave? She told me that our family, my grandmother and the family, said he was too poor, that he had never been violent to her. That he never beat her and he never was violent to her. That it was okay, that they were okay, but they were so poor. That she was so poor, he was so poor that they couldn't keep on looking at their daughter living in such abject poverty. She was just working from day to night, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to live, nothing to eat. That when they saw her 6 months later, they thought maybe she had been violent to her and had beaten her, and that's why she had looking so haggard, ragged, and so totally, they couldn't believe it 6 months later when they saw her. So the family had to gather together and take the hard decision. And the hard decision that even though we want this lady to be married, but we are going to lose her if she keeps on living in that family. She's going to die out of hunger. They don't even want, maybe she was weighing 50 kilograms when she went to marry. Now she's weighing 40-something kilograms. 40 kilograms or something. She's going to die out of hunger or out of abuse. They think it was an intentional abuse, but my mother said no. They were having a good relationship. There was no abuse. But just they were too poor. And she had lost so much weight and she was so emaciated. The family decided to collect her, to take her away from the man. Another level of rejection right there. But she wanted to stay. She said, it's okay, I love him, I like him, it's okay. Only he's poor, he cannot take care of me. It's okay, let me stay in my family. Let's try together, let's work together. Let me build my family. But the people knew that she was going to die. So they took the hard decision and took her away from the husband and told the man that no way, we are never going to collect. We are never going to give her back to you, but it's just not worth it. Which was what saved her life and saved my life. Because by the time she got back home, they discovered that she was pregnant. So then my grandmother said, okay, no problem. I will take care of this child, because if they had given birth to me in that family, if she didn't die, it would have, I would have died of malnutrition or something. So my grandmother was still doing better, even though she was poor, but she was doing better. And then they took me back to the village I was in the stomach, but they took my mother back. And she was 6 months pregnant, as I heard. And so she began to live with her parents, with her family. But when it was time for her to give birth, 9 months, she couldn't deliver. She didn't have this. She couldn't deliver. And in those days, you only deliver naturally. She couldn't deliver. I don't know why. She had so much, because she had never gone for medical consultation. She never, went for any. She couldn't deliver. She wasn't eating well. She was not fed. So Satan was out to destroy me from when I was. So 9 months, she couldn't deliver of pregnancy. 10 months, she couldn't deliver. 11 months, she couldn't deliver. So I was born only after 12 months of pregnancy. And I didn't die. So that was my first miracle. But it's all about rejection. Every woman could go to the hospital and get delivered of a child. Another rejection. You see what was going on in the mind of that woman? She was losing her mind. That I got pregnant, but to even get delivered, I couldn't be delivered. She was just rejected. Every cell of her body was crying rejection. She was taken away from her husband, family, a depression. Every part of her life was just rejection. Everything was just bad. Everything was just working against her. But I got delivered after 12 months. So everybody is 9 months in their parents' womb, but I was 12 months because there was no, what do you call it, cesarean session. So, but after I got married, after I got delivered, my mother went back to the farm because she had to work to help her mother, my grandmother, to feed the family. So, she just started working, and two of them would go to the bush to look for firewood and to cultivate farm and all that. And I'll be there. So, but I grew up not knowing that I had a mother. I grew up thinking that my mother was my grandmother because my mother was no more there when I grew up, when I started growing up. By the time I acknowledged myself, that I remember myself, the first time I remember myself was maybe 5, 6, but my mother was already not there. So but I never even knew there was any mother. For me, my only mother and father, I didn't even knew there was a father. I never even had the word father before. It was later that I discovered that, because later on we asked while I was already here, so a journalist went to ask my mother, why did you leave him? Where were you? And she said, when I was 3 years old, that because it's also an insult that she's still unmarried in her mother, to say you are in your father's house or you are unmarried in your father's house in our place is like a disgrace. And she was going to be 30 years old and she was not married in her father's house. So they arranged for another person. Some people arranged to take her. So she was given away in marriage. But to another state, that was Oyo State. So she was far away from our state. So she was gone. She was gone. And I never got to see her. But meanwhile, when I started remembering myself, is that my mother used to get into fracas, into arguments, quarrels, and fights with people in the village. And I used to notice that they were fighting over me. Because the people in the village will always call me, I forgot the name in Yoruba now, I think it's Omo Ale or something, Omo Ale? I think Omo Ale. Meaning, basically, I know the meaning, I know what they call me, I can't remember the word in Yoruba, but it means basically that bastard, a child that is just roaming about the village without a responsibility, bastard, bastard. We can't account for your father. We can't see your father. Because in our own area, a child should grow up in the father's house. Every child has a father's house. Every child has a family house. So you have to have your own family house too. So how can you be growing up in that family Adelaja house when there is no man there? So they didn't know the story. So a child appeared without any man in the house. In our Yoruba culture, that is not done. That's a curse. That is like prohibited. Because even in our Yoruba culture, even if you commit adultery, you still have a reference point. If, for example, if you are not married, you are a single woman, there must be somebody who impregnated you. And normally that person who impregnated you takes you as a second wife. That's why they have second wife in Yoruba land, third wife, or fourth wife. In Yoruba land, they have multiple wives because they shouldn't leave a woman that you have impregnated. You cannot leave her in the street. If you are left in the street by yourself, and the family of the man who impregnated you has to take you back, even if the man doesn't want you. That is the culture where I grew up. So for you to be left alone with a child by yourself and give birth, and you have to go to your mother's place, and you and your mother going back raising that child, that means you don't know the person who you have the child for. Or that it means you are so promiscuous that you couldn't recollect who to attach that child to. Because in those days, they didn't have DNA test or blood test. They didn't have those tests in the village. So it is those kind of children they call Omo Ale or something. Omo Ale. Omo Ale is different. That is like my countryman, compatriot. But Omo Ale, I think they call this one. So they used to call bastard. Bastard, that's to discourage, is an attempt to discourage that practice. To discourage the practice of promiscuities among women and girls. And to be able to, frown against it, to say, no, it's not accepted in the culture. So the culture does not accept that. So some people will use that to be calling me. That's what they will call me instead of my name. So my grandmother, because my mother was gone even, so my grandmother would now be fighting and say, no, it's not Omale. He's not Omale, it's Omolong. Omolong, Olong means God. So he is not Omoale, he is not a bastard, he is God's son. Because she couldn't say he has a father. They would say, go and bring the father. And nobody could bring the father because the father he just disappeared after that, in shame as well. And rejection too. He also felt rejection and just disappeared. So as a result of that, my grandmother gave me my name, my real name. And you know what my real name is? Olorunwa. Which is translated, there is God in heaven. There is God in heaven. There is God in heaven. So each time they will call me Omo Ale or bastard, she will turn around and say, Olorunwa. God will answer for you. God will speak for you. You are not Omo Ale, you are Omo Olorun. You are not Omo Ale, you are not bastard, you are God's child. That is how my name came about. Olorunwa. God, there is God in heaven. Or in Nigerian English, they say God Day. So it's a big story that there is God in heaven. There is God. There is God in heaven. So I grew up from my childhood seeing my mother fight, my grandmother fighting all kind of people. But I didn't know why she fighting them. They say I'm a bastard. So I thought also it's my second name. So bastard. So what is her problem? Why should that lead to fight? But she was fighting the stigma. She didn't want me to be stigmatized. You see the way, that's why I'm so, if you don't know, is the Olorunwa book somewhere here? If you have not read that book, Olorunwa, that is my biography. You need to read that book, Olorunwa, because that's my story. That's my story. You need to, it's on Amazon. Olorunwa. It's on Amazon. You need to read it. You'll see the love that I have for my grandmother. And when she died, when I was 16, it shattered me, it broke me. But I will not talk about that right now. I'm talking about confidence. So everywhere I will go, I knew that I am Olorunwa by my mother, but by the community as a bastard. Then I began to be aware that that was bad. And that's why my grandmother is fighting for me. So will I now go to that same community, being in that same community, and go and dance? You know, I started my conversation with dancing and the African culture that says dance, party, dance, party. And I couldn't dance. Because even before I was born, that rejection seed was already deeply sown in me. Even while I was being born, when I was in my mother's stomach, that rejections was already part of my reality. Both from my mother's side and from my father's side. So I told you in the beginning of this broadcast that I was the only person in the old village when all the kids will be brought forward, and I would not be able to dance. I would not just be able to get myself to do it. It grew so bad that it was now time for me to go to school. And then there was this leader in our side of the country who was a gracious man. I think the greatest leader Nigeria has ever produced. He was called Awolowo. He introduced free education. Thank God. Just before I was born, 7 years before, they introduced free education. So thanks to that, I was able to go to school. Then the federal government did free universal education. So I started going to school, but I would go to school without shoes. That is another form of rejection. I was different. I would go to school, I would not have uniform. Other people will have uniform. That was different. Other people had bags where they put there. I would go to school without bag. I didn't have any bag. I couldn't afford it. Other people could carry books. I never had one book. I would just be going as that. So when they were now teaching me that I have to read. So they taught me, even in the house, my relatives and everybody was saying, they were teaching me to read. A, B, C, A, B, B. I mean, that is Russian. Sorry, I forgot Yoruba. But it used to be in Yoruba. They used to say ABC. So, and I knew the ABC, but I couldn't just get to put it together. My mind, because from when I was 3 years old, because my mother was given away in marriage, I became the only one left with my grandmother. And where would she take me? She would always take me with her to the farm. So at 6, everybody, it was like a rule. Everybody had to be given away to school. So you have to be going every day. So I was going to farm every day. So after school, I would just go back to farm. So I didn't even, knowledge, to cut a long story short, I was the only one in the old school who could not read. At 6, I couldn't read. They tried. All the teachers were just beating me. The only way, their own way of trying to get me to be brilliant is beating me. Okay, when I was 6, there were a lot of us who couldn't read. At 7, there were fewer who couldn't read. At 8, maybe we were one. I was one, and the other person who couldn't read. At 9, I was the only one who was left who couldn't read. Because the rejection and the complex was so strong. Nothing was getting to me. Nothing was going inside. To cut the long story short, I could not read anything. Even Yoruba I couldn't read. Talk less of English. I could not read till I was 10 years old. And at 10 years old, people were already finishing primary school. And I still couldn't read. But at 10, something changed. That's another story, how I began to read and how that happened. As a whole different story. So rejection was part of my life. Now, that is another form of rejection. Everybody is reading. They are all kicking, doing like this, hitting me in the head and say, you are the only one. You are the only one who cannot read. You are the only one so dull. Why are you so dull? Why are you so... They didn't know that maybe they were supposed to have individual approach to me. Because it is now, after I became 45 years old, that I discovered that my mind was working differently. But they didn't understand that. Anyway, that added to the rejection. I will also tell you the reason why I couldn't read apart from the rejection. My mind is wired differently. Next one. Each time you go to school, you need to always raise your hand to talk. You have to raise your hand to talk. You always raise your hand. I never raised my hand because I never even knew what to talk. I would just sit down there. Can you imagine a child going to school from primary 1 to primary 6? He never raised up his hand one day to talk. So the teachers, they just gave up. There were a few of us like that. They just give up. They don't even pay attention. So all the things they teach other people, mathematics, or arithmetic, English, they just teach other people, but not us. I was totally just like, we have to just go through the emotion. But there used to be a time, or sometimes, when new teachers would come to class. And those new teachers will sometimes be asking the students to introduce themselves. Because the teachers always want to get introduced to the class. Now, why am I taking my time to tell you all these stories? Because this will show you that I have the moral credential to teach about this series. This will tell you that I'm teaching you about self-confidence, that I have a story that is connected with confidence and timidity. That if I could become who I became, and if God could help me to turn this around, that I could be able to help you as well. So I want to start with my story, tell you everything the way it is, not hiding anything. And then I will tell you how I overcame it and the principles that I discovered as a result. So another form of intimidation and timidity that I struggled with was each time a new teacher comes to class. Oh my God. Because they will tell you to stand. And for me to stand, if everybody is standing, it's okay. But if everybody is sitting, for me to stand, it will be as if 1,000 eyes were on me. say, what's your name? Just to say my name. My name is, I begin to shake and cry and shake and cry and weep. Fear, what do you call it? Panic, what do you call it? Priesthood. Panic attack. Panic attack. My name is just a Sunday at Delaja. I couldn't even get there. So my own was not just intimidation. My name is shame. I will feel as if thousands of eyes are on me. As if everybody is seeing my secret, my emptiness, my nakedness. As if everybody is expecting me to fail. As if everybody is expecting me to... This followed me, this panic attack, till I finished primary school, secondary school, till I came to Russia here. I couldn't talk. I never spoke. You know, I told you people sometimes, if you have listened to me, I said, I never spoke English before. Not because I was not going to, we were not being taught in class. We were being taught in class. But I didn't have the confidence to ever even open my mouth to speak English. Anywhere. I never spoke. So this led to a deep anger in me. Because aggression, I was so aggressive. If you read my book, Olorowa, you will see the stories I was telling of how difficult I was, how stubborn I was. I was so aggressive. But I was only showing the aggressiveness to my grandmother in the house. Because that is where I was a hero. That's where I could be myself. Every other place I was beaten down. But here at home, I could vent my anger. I could. The only way to express myself was like that. Even though inside me, when I'm sober, I was seeing a sacrifice. I was seeing everything she did for me, she was doing for me. And I was always telling myself, I will grow up and reward her. I will become somebody. I will become this and that. And I will pay her back. But each time she forces me to do things, or, things like I'm angered, it always came out in the form of aggression. So the person who sacrificed the most for me, who loved me the most, was the person who suffered the most from my hand. In fact, I will tell you even more. By the time I was 13 years old, that was the puberty stage. When you are already going to be an adolescent. I didn't know, and you started having interest in girls and everything. Because girls were not, things were so bad that I attempted suicide. Attempted suicide 2 times at 13 and 14. The rejection was so bad, I just didn't know how to do it. I just didn't know. I know there is a possibility to take your life, but I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how it is done. That was what saved me. That is another factor that I said, like I've said. So if you are saying that something is holding you back from becoming who you should become, or you have intimidation, you don't have intimidation. If you think that you don't have confidence, that is nothing compared to what I used to have. Some people are saying, oh, I cannot start my own life program. I cannot go to do something. Huh? You don't have problem at all compared to what I used to be or where I used to be. But finally, I'm going to show you something, the last thing, that was the reason for even greater intimidation. Okay, before I say that, let me mention some. Number one, the people in our area were always wearing, in New Year, every New Year, Christmas and New Year, for some reason, every family always sew clothes in our area. Every family always come up with new dress, something new. They buy something, even if it is once a year, they will buy a cloth. But they buy clothes and dress for family members and for the kids especially. Even if the parents don't buy for themselves, they buy something for the kids with the new year. I used to notice, so when I began to grow up, I would notice everybody is wearing something to church. And I'm the one who couldn't have anything to wear to church. Maybe my mother will give me a blouse, one of her blouse, and I'm a boy. So, I used to be ashamed that I'm a boy and I'm wearing my mother's clothes. Because this was going on till I was 10, and I began to recognize myself that I'm, become self-aware. So, talk about rejection and intimidation and lack of confidence. I'm not even talking about what do kids play with, toys. I never even saw toys in my life. My toys were sound, grand, land, just land. I never even saw sweets or candy. I would be eating sound. For me, sound was my dessert, was my sweet sound. Just grass, just go anywhere. I would just remove the stones and the ground, just the sound is there. I will be eating sound. God is my witness. When I'm tired of eating gari, because the only food I was ever eating was gari. In the morning, I will eat gari, turn into like in an eba form. In the afternoon, gari with water. Then in the evening, like eba form again. All my life, all year long. There were exceptions, but that's the main basic thing. So when I'm tired of that, sometimes I just feel like I feel even better to just go and eat sand. And I swallow it. I just enjoy it. It was my dessert. It was something different. It was just to get something different. I'm talking of dirt, just dirt. The one where you walk in the street in your territory, yeah? So, then all those Christmas, in our area also, in those Christmas and New Year, every family used to kill something. Either most families who are well-to-do, they will kill a ram or a goat or a cow. Only one family had a cow, but we didn't have anything. Our own house was the only one that was not killing anything. Then the very, very poor family, at least they will kill chicken. But we couldn't even afford a chicken for New Year or Christmas. So when I saw all that, I began to see all that. That just... So it added to the rejection and intimidation that You know, why is it that our family, okay, we couldn't afford a cow or a goat or a ram or, you know, nothing. So only the families around will bring some things, some fish, some meat to us, they will share with us, the poor people. Yeah, if you want to read more of my story, go read it. It's in the book. It's called Olorunwa. It's on YouTube. It's on Amazon already. Olorunwa. But to make things worse, the worst thing I'm reserving for the last, which added to my rejection. You know, I told you that in the beginning I couldn't dance. I think we have to write a new book through this message today and call it Why I Couldn't Dance. Why I could not dance, about rejection. So, another biography. Because in that other biography, I told another story there. So, in the Olorunwa book, I told another story. But this one is a different side of the story, more details here, more details. So, but the thing that couldn't really make me, one of the things that brought the greatest rejection to my life was, you know, they will always invite the village, like I said, to parties. And I said I never participated, I couldn't dance. I will always go there, but I couldn't dance. But so they will always invite Lisa is saying this book will be called The Root of Rejection. Yeah, but, you know, why I couldn't dance, like, it makes it like an interesting topic. So they will always invite, my grandmother, who was my mother, would always take me to all these parties. But I didn't have clothes. Or I would just wear one of our clothes, you know, just the top. Nothing under, nothing, just hanging on me like this. But when there's nothing happening, no party, I'll just go in the village, naked, just with a big stomach, and just. But while I'm going, even to the farm, no clothes. Just big stomach, no clothes, no shoes, nothing, no socks, no underwear, no pants. So because I was going about like that everywhere, anything that happened, especially going to the bush like that, is dangerous. Not that it's dangerous, it's hazardous, is because we are naked. So because of that, and now I'm going to show you the most scary thing that I carried all my life. And was one of the greatest source of intimidation and rejection that I suffered. Because of that, Pamela, because of that rejection, what happened, because of that situation, not having clothes, not having shoes, what happened is that how do I even begin to tell you this? Anything that my body touches, and as a child, as I was running, playing or going to the bush to carry things, everything my body touches becomes a wound. Especially in the bush, there is just no way for you to go to the bush without running into thorns and thistles and things. Things were just tearing my body. My body was just being teared up. So, for as long as I could remember myself, I always remember myself with wounds, smelling wounds that are not healing up, that are not being cured, that are always a minimum of 200 wounds. I always remember from the time I could remember myself, maybe from the age of 5 or 3 or 5, 6. So I always remembered that these wounds were all over my body, especially my legs. And they were always smelling, and they were not healing. They were not healing. So come and take I want to show people, come and take this camera, and I'm going to show you now so that you see that I'm not lying to you. Because when I show my people here, see, package me here, should I give it me here?
The light is not very good.
Those should not be permanently bleached to those.
Can you turn another light? Yeah, now we can see.
Сколько можно считать? Come here. Come, try to go and come and count them. How many can you count? Here alone, nationally, some of them. You can, on this leg alone, you can count more than 200. You see, how many will you count here?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Group neck. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Same with my body, back, everything. It's everywhere. Just one leg. I can count over 200 just on this leg alone. Let's go another leg. See, how many can you count?
It's everywhere. Because they're on each other.
Yeah. And some of them are deep.
Yeah. It's maybe one after the other.
Because they don't get
spots.
healed. Some of them, like this one lasted like for 10 years. Like I could remember. Just couldn't get healed. This one got to the bone. You see? The bone. This one lasted like for maybe 15 years. It couldn't get healed. So I was always smelling. And I will have at least 20 flies. There is something they call house fly or something in
flies.
Africa. Flies. Just flies. Flies were always following me everywhere, smelling. So when we get to a place with my grandmother, they will always say they should leave me outside. Because nobody wants to spoil their own party. Stand over here, partner. Somebody was saying in this place, in this country, when I tell them about the wounds, they say, why didn't you go to the hospital? I didn't even know there was any idea of an hospital. In my place where we grew up, there was no one. There was nothing like hospital. We didn't have any concept of hospital. There was hospital in the town, but who goes there? We don't even know what is the requirement to even get there, sir. We only know you are taken there when you have an emergency or something bad has happened. But this was not something bad. This was, I could still walk. I was walking. So the treatment I would do for my wounds were I would take ashes because we used to cook with firewood. So we just take ashes and put ashes on them and it becomes worse. Then sometimes, sometimes some people will have mercy on me, come from town and see me smelling, then they bring bandage. So we just bandage it, no treatment, nothing. But by the time you remove the bandage, it opens the wound. So this is my story of rejection. This is the root of rejection. These are the things that gave birth to a deep rejection and feeling of intimidation and fear in me. Okay, for example, Shinwe is here. Shinwe and Anaba was my classmate. We got the scholarship together to come to this former Soviet Union. We met first at the airport. That was my first time of seeing an airport or a plane. She would tell you that I was always quiet. Because by the time, even when I came to this country, I was still having that timidity. So that's what struck me when I saw Shinwe. I had never seen a human being in my life who was so free. I cannot forget Shinwe for the rest of my life, because she was the only person that I saw that was free, just expressing herself, just talking. And she noticed me, that even though I was quiet, I was always quiet there, silent, but she came to me to try to, say, why are you quiet, and just to talk to me. We are talking about going from timidity to self-confidence. That is my story. Any one of you want to talk before, talk about who? Before we finish, let's hear what your impressions.
Hello. Yeah, I have been really impressed, because I couldn't, at one point, I couldn't hold my tears, although I could hear some parts of the story. But this time I got there to this place and could see and could, could be a witness of this. And it's like what I felt is like everything that was all the life, for each moment, even before life started, it was not only a rejection, but it's like there is no value in the person, no value in this human being. Like, this human being was just a burden for everyone and for the earth itself. And this is a huge pressure, and of course the inability or panic attacks that Pastor was having when he was asked to stand in front of people. It's like, it's like you have to stand to be crucified, because everyone is going to judge you. Everyone is going to keep destroying you. Like, people will continue destroying you just because they are looking at you. If someone looks at you, it means they are going to destroy you. They are going to hurt you again just because they look at you. Because in your mind, you think that they are going to judge you, to think about you bad, unbelieve in you, and discard you, show that you don't have any value, and this is the kind of rejection that I saw in this story. Like, you are proving with your life that you shouldn't exist. Like, everything that you have in your life just proves that you are a mistake on this earth. And now when we know Pastor, and we know that our lives are changed because of who Pastor is, because of his existence. Now, like, how I'm just, shocked how one person that has so much inside for this world, so much potential, and has a goal for his coming to this earth was to give freedom to so many people, and everything was destroying him, not to become, a person we know him. So I am now, by this story, even without now knowing any other points or any other steps or lessons, how to turn timidity into how to go from timidity to self-confidence, even without those points and lessons, I now know that there is no reason for me to feel timid or like judged. Like, everything that I had in my head, it was like imagination, just, a game of the mind. And even without hearing any points, further points, I can understand that yes, I had not been rejected in my life. Although I have stories, but no, I haven't been rejected when I compare these things. Do you want?
before I come. No, wait. Before Pastor Nkiru comes to share, I just wanted to say that now you understand why I'm committed to Africa. And when I go to Africa, I don't want to go and do religion or church. Church and religion is not my priority when I go to Africa. My priority are going to be people. People like me. People with the kind of background that I have. People in the village. People who are rejected. People who are down and out. And now you can understand why my ministry is centered around the people who are down and out. Now you understand why I cannot pass by any human being. I don't want to. I can't. Why I'm always with people, why I'm always hugging people, why I'm always happy with people, why I'm always... There is a story behind every success story. Pastor.
Hello, everyone. I'm just short of words, because I thought I've heard Pastor Sunday's story, but today I really heard the depth, and everything he said just took me back home to when I was growing up too, when I used to think that we were poor. But at least we had Christmas clothes. At least we had jollof rice on Christmas. At least we made rice every Sunday, Though we sometimes patched those pots, but it wasn't to this extent. So what I'm taking from from today's message is, each and every one of us, especially those that feel, timid, that don't have the self-confidence to come out. There's something he said at the beginning, that he had a hyper-awareness of fear. So we have to find the root. What is causing you? Because he identified his, He mentioned everything that made him feel the way that he was feeling. So when we find the root, then we will know what to attack. Okay? Another thing that I took home is that if Pastor Sunday could come from such a background and become what he is today, none of us has an excuse. I have no excuse to keep on pushing, to keep on doing what I'm supposed to do, to be a better person, to affect the lives around me. Because there are a lot of people dying around us, a lot of people suffering the same way, maybe not wounds, but there are a lot of people suffering emotionally. And if you come around Pastor Sunday, you know that his heart contains the whole world, As he said, he wants to love everybody, he wants to love everybody. He wants to make you feel special, which are all the things that he lacked when he was growing up. Yes. Now you understand him better, why he had the way that he had. Yes. Now he is loud because then he could not talk. Okay? So we have a lot of things to take home from this message. I'm just too overwhelmed now, so I don't even know what to say, but the message is, there is no valley, there is no depth that you cannot come out of, no matter how low you are in life. It's just a matter of what he's doing, persistence, hard work, and just pushing, knowing where you're going. Okay? And with the Lord by your side, there's nothing you cannot do when you have put in the hard work and belief. I'm too overwhelmed, okay? I'm sorry.
I'm going to read your comments now, and I want to ask Kate and Pastor Nkiru to look in the comments if there's anything you see that you think I should read. Jane Musanka says, some of us here might be thinking we have suffered rejection one way or the other. Seriously, I'm not sure it could be compared to what I heard today. Dear say, God has really just showed me that is the Lord through your life story. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Andrea Allen Hall said, David Livingstone, the great missionary, said why he never returned to America from Africa was because he could still see the smoke of 100 fires of people who still did not know Jesus. Osofo Sunday, you are burdened with the Father's heart for the people. Maybe Adelaja Sunday. Yeah? Gift Amos pastor story is more than Nollywood. Yeah, I think there must be a story, a film about that.
Somebody asked a question.
Okay.
DS.
Okay, Yomi Jegede is saying, DSA, please tell us what happened to you at the dining room with the Arabian man eating the meal of 10 people and how you overcame timidity. Yeah, how I overcame will be another day now. This is going to be a whole series. This series is going to last for more than 1 month, the way I'm saying it. So I'm going to be going one by one. I'm going to be taking it one by one. But today I'm just talking about the source of my timidity, where it came from. Bobo is saying emotional suffering is a kind of a wound too. Okay. TY say, Kabi God is too much. This story gives so much hope, DSA. Wanola and Wincy say, thank you for your passion to reach out to people who are going through what you have been through. Thank you so much. Marinos Nsufo say, I passed through similar situation, and that's why I'm always concerned about the underprivileged. Yeah. And you say, talking about jollof rice, I didn't even see rice. Maybe once a year, we were eating rice once a year. And some years they couldn't get rice. Ezinwa, Pastor, your story looks like mine. You just woke up a memory in me. Wow. And that's why I want to go back to Africa. And by the grace of God, I am going to be the deliverer of that continent, my at least Nigeria for sure. And I want to believe that through this, God is going to also do the same thing for all of Africa. Stella Nohu said, DSA, I'm crying too much now. My eyes are hurting. T.Y. said, there's a story behind every glory. Yeah, I was looking for how to say that. There's a story behind the glory. Marino said, I feel pain, Pastor. Yeah, that's the reality. T.Y. says, now, Pastor, it's clear why you want to do transformation, to bring hope to the hopeless. Shinwin said, I did not know DSA's story then, but I saw him with the spirit of compassion God put in me, and I love him. You see, that's why it's good for us to reach out to people. We don't know why they are silent. We don't know why they are quiet. We don't know the story behind them, and to reach out to them, we just need to reach out. We don't know what people are going through. Curtis Anthony, most people in this world don't recognize values in others when they have none. Real shame what this world has come into. You see, but the thing is that from my background, from the story that I told you, you will know that there is no chance, no human chance. In fact, I've been all over the world, and I've seen Africans and Nigerians everywhere, but I've yet to meet every human being in Europe here that has gone through that came from the same background that I am coming from. To get a scholarship after that is just not possible. In fact, to finish secondary school after that is almost impossible. Then to be able to win a scholarship and become one of the best in the country, it's just like, it's not possible. How do you go from there to becoming the best in the country? So each time I preach, you understand with the word passion I preach. Every word I put my life into it. Every word I put my energy behind it. Because everything is true for me. Everything is so real. Prudence, say thank you for this truth. It will empower many souls. I would like many children to read those books. Your life today. Yeah, the book is already there. You can go get the book. It's on Amazon. You go look for it. It's called Olorunwa. Somebody could write it out. Please write out the name of the book, Olorunwa. That is just Sunday at Delaja. You could write, if there is a link, if you could get the link, let's put the link. Mofelola is singing, this is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Ola Martin said, DSA, this is why I love you and appreciate you. You are a blessing and you have genuine love for everyone because of your life growing up. Yes, so my tragedy has become my secret. My tragedy has become my empowerment. My tragedy has become my strength. My tragedy has become my triumph. Jane said there is a reason to follow the essay, turning the world upside down. Everybody said they are crying. Everybody is crying and weeping. TY is saying, so teared up, no value at all, even before a conception, and then from childhood. Wow. Yeah, but there are so many people in Africa like that. There are so many people who grew up under similar circumstances in Africa. Ekiyo Solomon said, this is just too transforming. May God bless you. But the problem is that nobody is noticing them. Nobody is seeing them. When I was there, people just passed by, and people are still passing by today. Yewandesh says, this just gave me a different perspective of the children in work that are in the slums. Yeah, there are a lot of people in the slums, but we still don't pay attention to them. We just passed by them. But who could tell that one of them could become Pastor Sunday tomorrow? I personally believe that there are so many Pastor Sundays, millions of Pastor Sundays out there that are totally neglected, that people just pass by, that the elite of the country, elite of Nigeria just pass by, of our countries, and the elite just live their lives. Paul Awodele said, this is the second time I'm saying this. It's like the first was on YouTube, the philosophy of success and the philosophy of failure. Yes, I have a video. I showed that in Rwanda. I showed my leg to people. Jefferson is saying this story of Pastor Sunday, where there was no hospital or anything, is the reason why we're going back to Africa with the mobile hospitals, mobile clinics. Yes. Everybody needs it up to now. Adiola used to say, yes, that's what we do. They will urinate and pour it on the wounds. Horrible. Yeah, they used to, urinate on my wounds as well. We were thinking that urine could heal or cure the wound, but it's a pity. If Oma said, Daddy, your story is one of the most awesome stories. Thank you for this grace in your life. Most of us are ugly. We have ugly stories too. Bobo said, this is leadership at its best, being able to be vulnerable at the healing of others, for the healing of others. Some are even ashamed to speak about their wounds and because of fear of rejection. But Pastor Sunday is showing his legs and his wounds. Lisa is saying maybe we should call the book Why You Can Dance. Jane Musanka is saying, this is not ordinary. My mind is spinning. I am now so confused where DSA is talking about himself or someone else. Daddy God, you are indeed great. Gift Amos is saying, my heart is just aching right now. Vivian Taylor, Father, thank you for healing him for days like we are having this morning, to be taught of your preservation. Yeah, God's preserved. Shegun Lawa is saying, please let us all go and share this message. Let's go and share it everywhere, and so that people, as many people as possible, could hear it, that people need to hear this story everywhere. Ola Yinka said, DSA is so honest. Well, yeah, but maybe it will help somebody. Niyo Lushola said, to leave a child outside when he's with his grandma is unbelievable rejection. Yomi Jegede said, God has turned your weeping and rejection to celebration and acceptability. Yes. Toyi is saying, head wounds, flies will smell the rotten flesh and follow. Yes, yes. I used to have those flies. Deoladisu said, you are just so real, DSA. Men of God, take the cue and be real with the people of God. Lisa, he says, the flies that were on my wounds would normally carry germs and breed infection. Yeah, that's why it was not healing. That is why it was not healing. And Marie said, this is too much. There is God indeed. No wonder you love the way you do. You've been through the values and back. Ushe Shuku Amadi said, oh, Lord God, this is the height of rejection. Yep. Yetunde said, yeah, because there was no treatment for wounds in the village. Yes. Jokai says, you are created for a purpose, DSA. Despite all odds and rejection, you are impacting so much people in the world today. Lara said, it's not just the wounds, but malnutrition as well. Yes. Christina Aretano said, DSA, you've always humbled yourself like Jesus. Maria Makajiola said, thanks for being so transparent, DSA. I can only imagine the horror as a little boy. Yes. Mofelola said, Pastor, you are any Olorunda, that is God's saint also, or God's creation or something. You are just too truthful. Esther Bobga said, this is just unbelievable. Fumi Jeboda says, scars are our testimonies and triumph. Adeola Disu said, thank you for showing us your wounds and your legs. Jefferson Uzoma said there is no way we could have we could relate with people only with Bible verses and quotation. You need to feel people's pain. MJ says, oh my God, help some of us to stop complaining and be grateful. Adeola Disu said, everybody please share. Let's go and share the message. TY says, I can't explain how I'm feeling now. This is so touching. God have mercy. So anyway, okay. Yetunde says, it's so sad that there are so many families like that still in Africa. Shinwe says, you indeed had a terrible and troubled experience, but God has planned to work out for you. You are our hero, and we love you, dear. Say thank you. Toyin Ashamu said, so sad, but we now see where God has brought you to. Nzoma says, this is the reason why the church needs to leave the realm of just verbal messages alone and reach out to people with food and clothing, touching life by true giving. TY said, this story teaches us to be thankful, hopeful, and recognize that God could raise anyone. Abiola Abiodun said, please, I want to buy the new book. There is no buying button to push at the Amazon. Please help me. Been trying since yesterday. Oh, the new book, that is the Steve Jobs book. Please tell, not now, we'll fix it. We'll tell Igor to fix it. There is no buying button there. So we are going to fix that. So today is the year. Thank you for reminding me. The new book, my new book is out today officially, How to Raise the Next Generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. So please, if you don't have that book yet, please go and get the book. Today is the last day that you could pre-order it, and from tomorrow it's going to be more expensive. So if you have not yet pre-ordered your book on Steve Jobs and on Amazon, please go get it. And on Okada, it will be out for sale from Monday. From Monday, it will be on Okada, but right now it's on Amazon. If you couldn't buy it, it might be a problem with your device, but still, we are going to try to fix it. So today is the last day to buy the book on Amazon. Go for it. Go and do your own. Let's listen to some announcement right now. I will come back and finish up.
Hello, everyone, again. You know that Mayuva now is in London, so we tried to do a double live broadcast yesterday. It didn't work for us, so we will go to the old method, which is showing you the screen. And here is Mayuva. Just give thumbs up if you can hear her. Mayuva, say something so that we know that people can...
Hello, guys.
Can you hear? Thumbs up if you can hear.
Hello, hello.
A lot of thumbs up if you can hear, please. Okay, thumbs up. There are some thumbs up so people can hear you. Please, Mayuva, your announcement.
Yes. Hello, guys. How are you? It's great to be watching with you online today.
It's really nice. I know it's a heartbreaking story that Dr. Sunday just told, but you know, this has really propelled me as well, much more to do more. You know, my story is not like him. Most people's story is not like him. But that's not the reason I am here right now. It's for the announcement. First of all, I want to thank everyone that have sent pictures, photographs. You saw how happy Dr. Sunday was with what we've done so far. So I'm really grateful to everyone for what you have done so far. And as you can see, he is also grateful. So we have a strategy. This strategy will start from next week, Friday, which is the 28th. As you would know already, some of you, or a lot of you, especially DSA family, that Dr. Sunday is starting a live broadcast, a special live broadcast from the 28th, which is next Friday, until the 28th of May. So 28th of April to 28th of May, which is his birthday. And he would answer all your questions. So, as part of that, what we've thought to do in order to allow him, first of all, to be able to come back to daily broadcast for us, in conjunction with what Kate is already doing. Thank you, Kate, with the social media and getting the numbers up in terms of likes. We also want to have a social media campaign. This campaign, you will get notes about the campaign from the various country representatives. I've sent it out and I'll also put it on the list. Dr. Sunday don't know about this, but I thought that we should do this. The team, the DSA Golden Jubilee team, thought we should do this for Dr. Sunday to ensure that not only that he gets the number, but we also get more people to come to his page to be blessed, just like we are being blessed right now. Imagine this today, this broadcast today, how many people need it in the world. So the more people we get on his page and the more people that we get to come to his page and start to follow him, the better. We will be doing our part. And I know for his birthday, he would like nothing more than to help as many people as possible. So the way that we can do that is that in 1 month we have a concentrated month of broadcasting everything about Dr. Sunday. So we are going to start by each of us. The strategy is we'll have our page. So please, if you would like to do it, it would be great. It's not compulsory, but it would be great if we would all join effort together. So the first thing is that we're going to provide you with a Facebook profile. So from the 28th, that profile will be your profile. Secondly, we will provide you with an hashtag. We've Kate has kindly set up a hashtag for us. Is Sunday, the hashtag is DSA Golden Jubilee. So you get the information in writing, so you would be able to see it. You have to put this hashtag on each post. The idea is each country, everybody all over the world, will post something about Dr. Sunday on a daily basis. So you either post pictures, you post quotes, you post your congratulatory message or videos on a daily basis, and we will set up a schedule where even though in that 24 hours, each hour there will be a post. So let's say, for example, Lagos post today, we would all share all over the world. Every hour we would all share from various places. So we have a schedule of time that we will post. We would all share what is being posted by Lagos. The following day, Canada will post, and including Lagos and the rest of the people will start to share with the hashtag. So every time we post, we would put a hashtag. In addition to that, I will put it in writing because I know this is a lot for everybody to take in right now, but it's in writing and it will be shared with everyone in the DSA family. But if you're not in DSA family and you're hearing this and you'd like to support us, join one of the DSA groups and let us know your contact, where you're from. So you can also write to me, which is the email for this Golden Jubilee is DSA50, DSAFIFTY @gmail.com. So the second thing is that we are also going to have a challenge. And the challenge is a brilliant challenge from Kate, is a fantastic idea from the team, and which is that we should write one thing or one attribute on a daily basis about Dr. Sunday. So an attribute that you admire about Dr. Sunday, you write it down on Facebook and you hashtag it. And you would also say why you like this attribute, or you can just put the attribute there. So the idea is to have 50 attributes each. So each of us would end up with 50 by the end of the month of attributes or anything, or what else? What other word is synonymous with attributes? Let me just check. Kate, are you there?
Quality.
Yes, quality. Any quality that you admire about Dr. Sunday, you write it down with the hashtag Sunday, DSA Golden Jubilee. So the hashtag is DSA Golden Jubilee. DSA Golden Jubilee. That will be the hashtag for the whole month from April 28th, which is next Friday, to May 28th, which is his birthday. So there's quite a lot to do with this. We also have the links to all his social media and all his connections. It's also in the notes that I have put together, the plan that we put together as a team. So that will be sent to the various emails and country representative or coordinators or leaders, and they will share with anybody that is on DSA family. I'll also try and post it. I will definitely post it on our group chats. So you will be in there and you would see all the information and how you need to go about it. If you have any questions, you can get back to me. So I'll just do a quick recap. So the idea is, from the 28th, from next Friday, we need to put a schedule. So I would ask the country representative to ask the various team to put down a schedule of who is going to post at which hour of the day, and which country is going to post first. And we have, I think, at least 14 countries, if not even more. So each country will be posting on a daily basis, and the rest of us will share. So then the next day will be another country, and the rest of us will share with the same hashtag DSA Golden Jubilee. We're going to do this. The more we do this, the more we get him recognized, the more followers he would get. We'll come quicker. We'll come back quicker from the 1st of June to Facebook live broadcast twice a day, and also ultimately more people will be blessed, and the kingdom, as Dr. Sunday would always say, is for the kingdom. It's not for just him, to have the followers. It's actually for the kingdom, so that more people can be blessed. And I know that you guys would support this, because I know how much you guys love him. So I appreciate that. And thank you so much to the London people. You showed me so much love last week. It was so overwhelming for me as well, and all because of Dr. Sunday. So let's continue in that love and start to put this strategy to put it together to ensure that everything goes as planned and successful. So hashtag DSA Golden Jubilee from the 28th, from the day that the live broadcast of the special live broadcast goes on. Daily has Dr. Sunday, which is next week. I believe it will start from 9 p.m. So, but we will start from that day in the morning, early in the morning. So we need to put the strategy together. Any coordinator that is out there that is listening to this, please get in touch. I have some of your emails. I would also get in touch with you, and the coordinator, the country coordinator, would also get in touch with you. So we make sure that we have all this ready for the 28th. We have our plan, our strategy, and we put it out as much as possible. DSA for the whole of May, April, May, should be the trending topic on at least Facebook, if not the rest of the social media. I would love it if it goes on Twitter as well, but because we need a number for Facebook, let's concentrate on our effort on Facebook. We can also spread it from Facebook. It will go onto the other social media sites or platforms. So DS hashtag, the most important thing is that you use the hashtag DSA Golden Jubilee. And once you use that, it will collect all your posts together, and it will increase the rating or the viewing or the mention of Dr. Sunday on social media, on Facebook. So this is it in a nutshell. The detail is more it's more detailed than this, and I'm going to send it out so that you guys can read exactly what needs to be done It's straightforward once you have understanding of it, but if you don't, please let me know. I know that, I can just go on sometimes without without filter. So please bear with me. So I hope you do understand, at least to a degree, that from the 28th of April to the 28th of May, we are going to go live and bombard the whole social media with the hashtag DSA Golden Jubilee, with all our messages, all our congratulatory messages, photos from various countries, photos of your celebrations.
All right. I don't know what. I hope the time is.
The time is at
Sir, can I just finish one more thing, please?
You have enough time. You had enough time to finish. So if.
Okay, guys, I will send it to you on DSA 50, okay? DSA 50, and Kate will also send it. Thank you very much. Dr. Sunday has to go. He's considering us all. Thank you.
So I don't know what plan you people are having, but I know that Mayowa was telling you about some plans. But if there is anything, and I think it's in regards to my birthday, if there is anything that I want you people to do, maybe, I don't know if this is included in your plan that you're having or not, but I think you have to include it. If Mayowa is hearing, or Kate, I think it would be a good thing to put all these teachings that we are doing. I think it would be a good thing to include it, that anything that anybody is going to post on Facebook or social media, they should always take some messages. So let's say any group will take maybe the series on women, for example, one group. Another group could do the series on men. Another group could do series on crisis. So all these, so that all these days that you'll be posting things, so that every group has one of the series of the teachings, so that all the teachings that's all week or something will be on Facebook, so that everybody will see them again, one by one, and then put the links on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then the second thing I would think would need, so that people will get the word out, so that people will go out and be watching those messages and you'll bless them. Another thing that I think is necessary would be to take all the quotations, all the sayings, especially on Twitter, quotations and Instagram. The Instagram quotations are the ones that Elizabeth Ali did, and those same groups could be putting them out there in Instagram with the photographs and quotations, and then Shiga also did very good ones. So those could be out there on Twitter, on Instagram. Then the words on Twitter, just quotations on Twitter. We have all the quotations also on my blog. Then all the quotations also from Ali, and so they could put them everywhere. So the message for me is one important thing, for people to get the message, for people to So if everybody is doing it from morning to night, just messages from Sunday at leisure, that will really popularize the whole thing. So I think that those two things should be included in whatever you are doing. Thank you so much, everyone. It has been a very emotional day today for me. But I will be doing this teaching, like I said, every day. Not every day, every Saturday till we come back, I hope, daily, for daily broadcast. But this confidence, self-confidence, and confidence series will continue. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.